Hi, this is Karen Cubico, and today we're going to talk about what happens when you die, whether it's this lifetime or in a past lifetime, and you wander around and you forget to go in the light. So why does that happen? Well, I've come across it both with folks who have passed in this current lifetime, talking to those who've gone on the other side and have passed. They just haven't gone in the light. And it's also come up during a past life regression. So why? Well, first off, usually it's because someone on a human level doesn't comprehend or realize they've passed. Now, unfortunately, this does happen or seem to happen when there are people who have Alzheimer's or dementia. They just don't know that they've passed. Or if someone has been traumatically killed or in a car wreck or some kind of sudden way that the impact was like a slam, and their energetic part of them, the soul, the spirit part of them, is out of their physical body so quickly they don't get that they've passed. So what happens? Well, usually that person comes to some kind of knowledge and understanding that they are past because they're passed over people. Angels and spirit guides come around you when you've passed. But if you're kind of blocking it and you're not ready to see it, you might not notice that they're around you or get it in some kind of way. So remember to hit that like button and subscribe. And if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If I come across somebody who's remembering a past lifetime and they aren't really grasping that what's happening in that particular lifetime, they feel like there's no other people around, even though they're in the middle of a city. They are in a place where it just doesn't make any sense and they're kind of wandering aimlessly. Then I'll know to ask the question, well, are you alive or are you dead? They might not realize that they have passed in that past lifetime. On occasion, I have come across people who just didn't feel worthy to go into the light for some reason. Maybe they were not that great of a person, or they did some things that were not fantastic in that past lifetime. Or they were a drug addict or an alcoholic and they just want to continue getting that high or that feeling of being drunk from somebody else. And that's a whole other discussion. But they have chosen to stay in this earthly experience without going into the light. Now, the light, just to give you some understanding, is kind of that doorway that takes you into the heaven space where you fully comprehend and understand that you are a spiritual being first. And once in a while, you have this human experience. When you go into the light, first of all, it draws you, okay, when you're aware of it. Now, I have regressed into a past life some people who see the light and they're like, yeah, I'm not ready to go into that. They want to do this or that. But if you are in a past life regression and you find yourself wandering aimlessly and you are not exactly sure what's happening, it feels very weird and out of sorts, then if you ask the question, have I gone into the light? And you get a no, or you feel like, no, I haven't, then all you have to do is, hey, angels, spirit guides, past our people, help me to find the light and to go into that. Then you can go in the light and have that beautiful experience. It's so wonderful. I mean, oh man. I mean, you see so many people and they just love you and you feel that love, and then you know without a doubt that you are a spiritual being. And it is like a celebration on the other side. You get some very deep energetic healing from the healing angels, and then you go into the heaven space. And then you can speak to all your spirit guides, work with all those folks that are past in this current lifetime, other lifetimes that are your friends, and they're so excited. And you can pick other lifetimes if you choose. It's always your free will. And so it's an amazing experience. But sometimes it happens where people haven't chosen to go into the light for some reason. Now, as a psychic, when I do see someone that has passed and they have not gone in the light, it's a very different experience when I talk to somebody who has actually gone into the light. And here's the big difference. When you are in this human experience, you have that whole humanness, your ego, that part of you that has all these rules and emotions and all that kind of stuff that you carry with you when you step out of your body. However, when you go in the light, then you're like, oh, I'm a spiritual being. And you kind of drop all those rules and patterns and things that are in this earthly experience. And you recognize you came here to learn some type of soul level lesson of some kind, and you work with your counselor or spirit guides on the other side, and you're like, I got so close to that one lesson, or I did these 3 things and I just almost got to these other 2, but look how great I did, and whatever. But when I psychically see someone who has not gone into the light and they've passed in this current lifetime, their energy looks denser, more lower to the ground. They are, they got that more human quality to them. I don't know how to explain that. They're definitely lower to the ground and more dense, not as bright. When someone has gone into the light and has recognized that they are a beautiful spiritual light being, that inner light glows and they look very bright, very illuminated, and they have higher knowledge coming through, versus someone who has not gone in the light. They are still using their full emotions and maybe not giving the full information. In a sense, they might give their opinion as opposed to coming from a higher perspective, as if when you have actually gone into the light. So quite the difference in even the information that's coming to me as a psychic intuitive, but it's very, very different. If you come across and you are psychic or intuitive or regular person and you happen to think that there's ghosts in your house, then here's what you do to help with that. I mean, I guess I could mention that in this video, why not? But it is, although it's a whole other video, but if you happen to encounter someone that has not gone in the light, all you have to do is ask for an angel to help you. I always ask Archangel Michael. You can choose whatever angel that you resonate with. I just say, Archangel Michael, can you please help this poor soul to move into the light and to help raise their vibration and to recognize that they are truly a spiritual being having this human existence. And it's been completed and it's time to move on back into the heaven space. And I just let it in their hands. The angels are experts in that type of help and helping them transform into that higher knowledge perspective, that true spiritual being aspect in a sense. Hopefully that helps somebody. I was meant to say that today for some reason. I have a beautiful story about a friend of mine. Her parents died within a month of each other, unfortunately. They're older. Both of them had individually different sicknesses going on. It was just a very sad, sudden time for my friend. So lots of love goes out to her and her family. But her parents, her mother passed first, and she had some dementia going on. And her father then passed like a month later. and he had a different sickness. He was not with dementia or anything like that. But on some subconscious level, he knew his wife needed help. Now, they had spent many lifetimes together, and this was no different. He was here to help her in some kind of way. And so when he passed, and it's giving me the goosebumps right now talking about this, but when he passed, he showed me this very intense vision that he took her hand, he found her, because you don't want to get lost hanging out here on the earth plane, but he found her, took her hand, and then they smiled and looked at each other, and then they both walked into the light together. I mean, it was just heart-wrenching and heart-touching at the same time. He was there to help her to go into the light. Now, that happens oftentimes because, like I said, you don't want to get lost. So if, I've come across people who have passed and they've been hanging out on this earth plane for hundreds of years. I'm sorry, but that sucks. That would be like purgatory in a sense, or a hell of some kind, which there's no hell. No one has ever remembered going to hell in any past life regression experience I've ever helped somebody with. It's definitely important that if you pass, or if you are psychic and you find that there is someone who is in their ghostly state, in a sense, where they have not gone into the light, please ask the angels to help them move along. I know it's important. They always are telling me it's so important to go into the light, because when you reclaim who you really are as a spiritual being, then you understand why you went through all of the stuff that you went through here in this human lifetime. And, if it comes up when you're remembering a past life, also ask for the angels, your spirit guides, or even you here now to help that aspect of you in that past lifetime to go into the light. And make sure you stay to the end. I have a link to a guided meditation where you can receive angelic healing. Lots of love and light to you.